Surprise, most data people consider themselves generalists. You might think that data analysts or data scientists or data engineers or data PMs or data governance people or data whoever, those titles are also different. And so obviously those jobs are super different. But you would actually be surprised. And in this video, I'll talk about how I came across this fact that most data people consider themselves generalists over drinks at a bar with some data friends, how I proved that this is widespread, and what it means for your data career, regardless of the type of data person that you are. So the story is, I was at a bar talking to some friends at a data happy hour. I think it was the low-key data happy hour that Ethan Aaron puts on. And we were talking about the meaninglessness of data titles. And I was talking to someone who they were talking through their career history, and they had gone from, bounced around to different titles. And I asked, do you feel connected to any of these titles? Or do you feel like, I think they were working as a data scientist at the moment. I was like, do you consider yourself a data scientist, or do you consider yourself just like a broad data person? And he was saying he considers himself just like a broad data person. And I came across this idea of like generalist versus specialist, because I always knew that the title was meaningless. And I've written a lot on LinkedIn about how the title was meaningless, whatever data title you have, because companies, it means so many different things in every different company. But I never had this word that was sort of actively pushing away the specificity of that any one specific title in favor of embracing being a generalist. And I really like this idea. So I talked to a couple other people to see if they felt that they were sort of actively not just their title, if they were more generalist. And most people that I talked to felt way closer to being a data generalist than whatever their title was. Some were data engineers, some were data analysts, some were data scientists, but they all, or many of them, considered themselves generalists. And I thought that was super interesting. So I did a poll online on LinkedIn, and approximately 50% of the people who responded also considered themselves generalists. And so to me, what this means is that there is an extremely large percentage of the people who work in data, and regardless of their title, they don't necessarily align closely with their title. They see themselves as data people, as data generalists, not necessarily as a data analyst or data scientist or data engineer, or data PM, etc. So who cares? What does this matter? What people consider themselves? We all already know that data titles are meaningless, and why does it matter that many people consider themselves generalists? I think it's important, especially for junior people that are coming into the industry, that you recognize the implications of what this means. Because the reason that people consider themselves generalists is because they need to do all of that different data work regardless of their title or their role at any specific company. So you might have a data governance title, but you find yourself doing a decent amount of data analysis and some data engineering and some ETL work and an occasional machine learning model that you're building. And so sure, you're in the data governance team and you work on data governance, but in order to succeed in what you're doing a whole bunch of different data work that will often fall under different categories of data. And as much as there has been specialization of, you've got data engineers and data scientists and data analysts and data PMs, and we think we understand what all of these jobs do differently. What I see is that actually everybody is still doing a little bit of everything. And unlike other jobs, it's important that you know how to do a little bit of everything. Because if you want to be a successful data engineer, you need to understand what that data is, how that data is being analyzed and who's analyzing it for what purposes. Otherwise, it's going to be tough to be successful because you're not going to be able to do as effective of a job in getting all of the right data where it should be modeled correctly to make sure that it's being used in the right way. And the same thing for data scientists. If you're a data scientist, you might find yourself deploying your own models if you ever want your models to actually reach production. And so are you a data engineer? Are you a DevOps engineer? Who knows? But you need that skill set. And if you're a data analyst, you might find yourself building machine learning models to predict various different things. Like if you're analyzing churn, you might find that very soon you have built a churn prediction model as a data analyst that's going to get deployed to production just because you deeply understand churn, and so you build a model for it. And so I think that as much as there has been specialization in data, it is still extremely important and still an extremely core part of the job to embrace the generalist mentality of, as a data person, I'm going to figure out how to get it done, even if this should be data engineering work or whatever work it is, you just get it done. And I think that having that broad set of capabilities is extremely beneficial for data people. And I just thought this was super interesting when it happened, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. Take care. Have a good one. And in the comments, let me know if you think you're a generalist or a specialist, and if you think that, it makes a difference. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.